Hi and welcome to BooksBeautyKendra. I'm Kendra and today I have my R/Fantasy Bingo TBR. Now, I'm sorry that I haven't been on here for a while. Just lots of stuff going on. So, yeah. Anyway, we'll get into it. If you don't know what R/Fantasy Bingo is, I will leave a link to the post on Reddit that has it all. Basically the main rules are, has to be fantasy book or like fantasy-esque book, has to be, you can only have one reread, and you can't double up on authors. So yeah, there's also like different modes. I'm just going to go on the normal mode, the easy mode. Check out the link in the description for more information on it. And let's get into it. Okay. The first prompt is first in a series, as you would. My TBR, by the way, is just a mix of fantasy and romantasy books, one sci-fi in here. And yeah, let's go. First in a series, A Promise of Fire by Amanda Boucher. This is like my second time trying this author. I tried one of her sci-fi romances. I could not get through it. So we're going to try a fantasy romance by her this time. Yeah. I'm not going to tell you what most of these are about unless I've read it already. Which, this started in April and it goes until the end of March next year. So if I have read some of these books, I've read it between April 1st and now, which is June 1st. Next is Alliterative Title. So yeah, Bookshops and Bone Dust by Travis Baldry. This is the prequel to Legends and Lattes, still following Viv the Orc, but when she was younger. You can see the ring light. Ha 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 ha. That's better. Anyways, yeah. That's the next book. Then Under the Surface, so this has to be the predominant setting, basically. So it could be under the water, it could be under the earth. I'm going to go for one that takes place mainly in the underworld. And that's a River of Shadows by Karina Halley. And yeah, I know she gets married off to the king of the underworld. And it's like, is it Finnish? It's some sort of Scandinavian inspired fantasy romance. Yeah. Next is Criminals. So Criminals in any sense that you can figure it out. This one I don't have a physical copy of. I have the audiobook for, and that is The Lies of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch. And that's a whole band of criminals, really. Yeah. And then I have, for dreams, I put in The Delegate Dream Department Store. Dream You Ordered is Sold Out by Mia Lee. Maya Lee? Mia Lee, I think. I don't know. But yeah, that one's a Korean translated book. And it should be a fun time. Real easy. Okay, the next prompt is entitled Animals, and I've got for that The Dragon's Promise by Elizabeth Lim. This is the sequel to Six Crimson Cranes, which follows Princess Shiori. And this is the sequel to it. I've started reading this before, but I'm going to have to start it over again because I kind of remember what happens, but I don't have my bookmark in here anymore, so I can't really. Yeah. Next is Bards, and I've got that on my Kobo, and that is the book one of the Bardic Voices by Mercedes Lackey, called The Lark and the Wren, sorry. Look, I got a colourful one. And yeah, that should be, the main character has to be a bard, or has to follow bards. and assuming from the title of the series, it's about bards. So that should be fun. Next is prologues and epilogues, so it either has to have a prologue or an epilogue. If you're doing hard mode, I think it has to have both. Anyways, this one's The Witch Collector by Teresa Weeks. I'm pretty sure it has a prologue. Or does it have an epilogue? I can't remember. Yeah. Anyways, I checked, and this one has one of those. Anywho's. Next is self-publish or indie publisher. I've got Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent, which is the first book in the War of the Lost Hearts. It's a thick book. I didn't realize it was this thick. But yeah, it should be a fun time. I've heard good things about Carissa Broadbent's writing. So yeah. Next one is Romantasy. I have a lot of Romantasy on my shelves. They're all over there, that's why I'm pointing over there. So the stand-in, it could easily, any of these could be switched out for something else, but especially this one. And that is Court of Ravens and Ruin by Eliza Rain. First book in the Shadowbound Queen series. And, oh, there's a map. Got a map of Yggdrasil. That's cool. Yeah. If you can hear the rain, apologies, it's just started raining and it's probably going to get louder. But now is when I want to film, so now is when we're going to film. Anyway, the next prompt is Dark Academia, and for this one, I've read this one already. Oh, I didn't put the dust jacket back on, but it's Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. This is the second book in the Alex Stern series. Look how beautiful. And yeah, it is a Dark Academia book. Very dark, like emphasis on the dark. Next is multiple POVs. This is The Traitor Queen by Danielle L. Jensen. This follows Lara and whatever the guy's name is, Aaron. So it follows both of their POVs, and it's the sequel to The Bridge Kingdom. Next is published in 2024, so any book that's been published in this year. And again, I read this one, Annette's Bride by Ali Hazelwood. Follows a vampire and a werewolf as they have an arranged marriage. If you're not into knotting, this is not the book for you. It's very light knotting, but like, be warned. Then I have Character with a Disability. Again, not again. This is Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. Yes. This is book 2 in the Empyrean series. Book 1 is, of course, Fourth Wing. The main character, Violet, has a disability. Like, she was sick when she was younger. Gave her disabilities. Like, she's very weak physically. She gets hurt easily. I'm gonna count that. And the next one is published in the 90s. This one was a bit harder to find, I have a lot of stuff from this century, not so much from last century. But I went with Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. I have not read this. It's a crime. I should have read this already. But it's like an underground London setting. Yeah. The next prompt is Orcs, Trolls, Goblins. Oh my! And I've got Goblin Market and Other Poems by Christina Rossetti. I read the first poem in this, and indeed it has goblins. It's also in the title, so, and the pictures. But yeah, very, very short. I should get through this quickly. However, it's classic poems. I don't know when this is from. It's an old collection. Oh, 1994. The year I was born. Anyway, next is space opera. So this is the one sci-fi I have on this list, and that is A Closed and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers. This is the second book in the Wayfarers series. Yeah, Long Way to Small Angry Planet is the first one. It's like commentary on sexuality, identities, all that. The first one was really good. I think this one follows one of the lesser followed characters. I can't remember, it's been a while since I read that first book, but I'm very excited to continue on with the series. Next is Author of Colour. I've got The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi by Shannon Chakraborty. I have been wanting to read a Shannon Chakraborty for a while. This is the one that calls out to me the most. If I like this, I'll go back and read her David series. But yeah, this is a pirate. You can kind of see it there. This is a pirate adventure series. She's an ex-pirate, I think. Another audiobook. This is an audiobook that I have is for survival, and I've got The Martian by Andy Weir. Weir. So that's not an awkward name at all. Imagine going to school with a last name like that. I'm so sorry. Okay, next is Judge a Book by its cover. This was a hard one because I don't buy books judged on the cover. So I just scoured my shelves and found one that I thought was pretty, or like looked really interesting just based on the cover, and that is A Slate of Shadows. A Slate of Shadows? A Slate of Shadows by Kat Howard. This is the second book in some sort of series where the first book is An Unkindness of Magicians. And yeah, it's set after that. I don't know if it's following Sydney still. I think it might be, but yeah. A lot of sequels on this TBR, which is good. I'm getting 3 series. I don't normally do that. Which is not good on my end. Last lot of prompts and books to go, and then we're done. Good job, team. We've almost made it. Anyway, the next one is set in a small town. This can be either magical small town, non-magical small town. I've gone with In the Company of Witches by Aurelie Wallace. This is like a cozy mystery with, you know, witches. It's not in a magical setting. It's in like the US somewhere. And yeah, in a New England town. Now we have 5 science fiction fantasy or SFF short stories. I've gone with Cursed, and this has got a whole slew of different people. This is the one where you can double up on authors, is what I can remember from the rules, because like it's hard, and I've got Neil Gaiman on here as well. So yeah, Neil Gaiman, Charlie Jane Anders, Emma Carey, Christina Henry, and more. We'll see how I get through this. If I can't get through this, I have an Alice in Wonderland one that I can get through just as easily, or more easily, I should say. Then we've got Eldritch creatures. I had to look up what that meant, and it's like otherworldly creatures, something that's difficult to describe. I've gone for A Master of Jinn by P. Djeli Clark. P. Djeli Clark. Yeah, that's a hard one to say. Anyways, as you can tell from the title, it's got Jinn in here. It's got magic. It's a fun time. I read the 2 prequel novellas, or 2 of the prequel novellas. I don't know how to get my hands on the 3rd one, but I've been putting this off since it came out, which is like 2021, I think, and I really should have read this by now. Next, the reason I'm looking over here is because my notes are over there. Next, the penultimate one is reference materials. So this can be a map, this can be a glossary, index, appendix, what have you. And I've gone for one. Again, I can have like so many of these. And this one's signed, and I've got a stamp in here as well of the Southern Court. Anyways, The High Mountain Court by A.K. Mulford. Very excited to read this. I got this at Rare last year. So got bookmark, stamp, signed and personalized, and most importantly, a map. And it's not a very detailed map, but it's a map nonetheless. And I'm excited to read this book. I started reading this, I remember, and then I kind of went through my big slump, and then I stopped reading it. So we're gonna go back into it because we're hoping that I get out of this slump. I think I am. And the last one is book club or read along book. So this is one of the r/fantasy book club books or read along books. There's a whole list of them linked in that Reddit page that I'll link down below. Yes, that's what I mean to say, and I had to go through quite a lot. And again, the last one is an audiobook, and that is The Mimicking of Known Success by, oh gosh, Melka and Older. Yep. Hey. That's, oh no, that one's also a sci-fi. I have two sci-fis. Look at me branching out. Wow. Yeah. Anyway, if you made it this far in the video, let me know what you would read for any of these prompts. Like, is there anything that you would read that would fit this r/fantasy bingo prompts? And would you participate in this? It goes for a whole year. I know I'm late to this, but yeah. And if you've made it this far, consider liking, commenting, subscribing, all that jazz, and I shall see you in the next one.